Rift to get a Hellion, and this bow, you can sit in the Empowering Rift, and you get Grenade Charge. Hey Guardians, welcome back to another build video. Today, I've got something a little different. We've spent a lot of time with Prismatic, and it's the new hotness, but our old subclasses got some changes, especially Solar Warlock. Tons of changes. First of all, we've got a new super. We are no longer just Whale Bitch anymore. Even though this build worked really well in Well of Radiance the last time around, but I've got a new iteration to kind of make a more modern version of this build. So we're going to utilize Song of Flame now, since Well is pretty meh in most content, especially like we're not really. This build isn't meant for raids. I mean, you could use it, but it's more like solo content slash Grandmaster. This build is going to excel in the harder content, which you'll see why. Easier content, it's going to feel kind of clunky and weird, but the harder content you play, the better this build is going to perform. We can use Empowering or Healing. If you use Empowering, our grenade uptime is going to be much better, but our survivability is going to be a lot worse, so you take what you need. But you can't run Phoenix Dive with this setup. I'll show you why. Incinerator Snap. The melee are optional. You use whichever one you prefer. I think Incinerator Snap's better personally. Fusion Grenade, you have to run Fusion Grenade with this setup. Because the exotic we're going to use is Starfire Protocol. I know, one we haven't used in a while probably. Aspects, you have to run Touch of Flame. I mean, you don't have to, but if you don't, you're stupid, because it makes the Fusion Grenades like the best grenade in the game. So, no reason not to run it. And then we're going to utilize the new aspect Hellion. Normally, Icarus Dash and Heat Rises would be basically useless for this build, so we actually have something that's useful, since we're going to be spamming tons of rifts. So this build, Hellion, is a core part of it. The fragments, I have Eruption, just so that our eruptions just are in a bigger area. This one isn't fully necessary, I just kind of like it. Ember of Wonder, I like these extra orbs of powers, plus the extra resilience is kind of nice. With this setup, we'll be making lots of, between Song of Flame, Hellion, the Incinerator Snap, and Fusions, there's going to be a lot of ignitions, that's why these two are nice. Ashes, it just makes it so that we get ignitions quicker, because we're applying more Scorch stacks for literally everything. Everything we're going to do is Scorch. And then Resolve. This makes it so our Fusion Grenades heal you. This will make it so that we're slightly more survivable with Empowering Rift on. Like I said, you could use Healing Rift, but we're going to use Empowering Rift for this specific showcase. Weapons, doesn't matter too much, but this specific build is going to utilize Hierarchy of Needs. This is like my favorite exotic in the game. It's got such a unique gameplay loop, and it pairs well with a build to where you want to be sitting in Empowering Rift, and Hierarchy of Needs is a weapon to where you got to be pretty stationary to use it. Its catalyst is pretty vital to this weapon's success, so I'd recommend getting it. Essentially, you'll see in the gameplay if you've never seen this exotic before, but you shoot a guidance ring out, and then when you shoot through it, it creates seeking projectiles. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And then Starfire Protocol. So this exotic is going to help us get tons of Hellion uptime, because fusion grenades get 2 charges, so that's already a good effect. And then they recharge from empowered weapon damage. So if you're not running Empowering Rift or Well of Radiance, this secondary effect will do literally nothing for you, which is fine. You don't need it. This is just a cherry on top. Ever since they nerfed Starfire, you used to be able to just get tons and tons of grenades, but now it's only 2% instead of 20. But the nice thing is still, you get 20% of your grenade back if you get kills while in your Empowering Rift, which is nice. But the main part we want is defeating targets with fusion grenades grant Rift Energy. It gives you your full Rift back. It's not just Rift Energy, it instantly refunds your Rift. So, the Hellion lasts for 20 seconds. You're going to be getting a grenade kill more than every 20 seconds. You'll have basically full uptime on Hellion, which is a pretty great aspect, honestly. Part of this build, we for sure want a harmonic siphon. That way our hierarchy of needs is making us orbs, as well as 2 ashes to assets. That way we're building our Song of Flame pretty quick, and we're going to be getting tons of fusion grenade kills with this build. So that helps with that. 2 fire powers plus a grenade kickstarter. This just makes it, once again, we just want as much grenade uptime as possible so that we can spam as many rifts as possible. You, I mean, it's pretty flexible with this, but 2 fire powers, so you get a orbit power every 5 seconds, is pretty necessary. Chest piece, just so that it makes it so that our grenade kickstarter has more stacks possible, so you get even more grenade charges back. But other than that, you can run reserve mods, harmonic mods. Doesn't matter too much, it's all preference. Boots, this just makes it so our orbs are twice as potent. Once again, 2 innervations, this just makes it so that our grenades come back even quicker from all the orbs we create from getting kills with our grenades. And then on our Bond, Reaper, we're going to be spamming down a lot of class abilities. This will make orbs, and then 2 bombers. So this is why I said the empowering rift isn't as necessary. All of this is really going to make it so that we get tons of grenades, and it makes it so our grenades get our super back quicker. Because their fusion grenades are so good. High recovery isn't fully necessary. I just like high recovery on builds. It's just nice for getting your shields back. High discipline is good, and then high resilience is good. So these 3 stats are important. You could run 100 discipline, 100 resilience, and go less on the recovery. But sometimes you do screw up the ability chain with fusion grenades, so it's nice to get it back. Weapons, like I said, doesn't matter too much. Heavy weapon, I'm just running my Apex with Reconstruction Bipod just for chunking enemies. And then I have this new Lost Signal. It doesn't have a very good roll. It's just there. You can run any special. You could run the Call if you wanted with Demo. This is also a good option for just getting your grenades back. So either one. This is good area denial. Hierarchy does kind of struggle when enemies get up close, so something like the Call isn't a bad option. But you can run whatever. This is good splash damage. I will catch you guys down in Niamuna, where I normally test the stuff. Alright, we have made it to Niamuna. I'm in a lost sector, just to make my life easier. So, to get guidance ring stacks, you just need to get 1 hit for critical damage, gives you 1 stack. You got a pretty simple gameplay loop. You pop your rift to get a Hellion, and this bow, you can sit in the empowering rift, and you get grenade charge. We want to make sure we try to get at least 1 grenade kill, so that we instantly get our rift back. So we'll do that. That'll get us our rift for the next area. And we'll get tons of grenades, so you don't have to worry about wasting it. So if you do this, like this will instantly get us our rift back, so we get a free Hellion. As long as you get the grenade kill after the rift animation. So if you play too easy of content, this build's you're not gonna get the most out of it. So guidance ring stacks, you just need to get crit kills to get the best guidance ring stacks. Or just regular kills will give you 1 stack, a crit kill will give you 2, a regular crit will give you 1 stack, is how this works. So you just want to keep popping empowering rifts to give you Hellions. That grenade kill will heal us, as you can see. Might have to move a little bit since we have the empowering rift and not the healing rift, which is fine. Want to get our rift off. We're killing everything too quick here to even get much work with our bow done. This bow does more damage the further you are away. I don't know. It does, so I guess I'll explain more since you might not know what Hierarchy of Needs really does. But essentially the way Hierarchy of Needs works is when you're shooting through that ring, you get 2 extra little explosive projectiles that heat seek enemies, and you shoot faster with the catalyst. So it's pretty nice overall. Want to make sure we get a grenade kill to heal us. That's why having high recovery is kind of nice, so that we heal quicker. So the Empowering Rift is a double-edged sword. You'll get your stuff back really quick with the Empowering Rift, your grenades, but your survivability is going to be a lot worse. Like, if you're in a healing rift, you can kind of just sit in it and dip in and out of cover just a little bit to be survivable, but with an Empowering Rift, you got to be a lot more safe. So that's kind of a trade-off you got to take. Since we're still doing content that's not, these enemies aren't made completely of paper mache, they're a little bit thicker. Since we're on Neomuna, you're pretty safe to run the Empowering Rift, but if you're like in a Grandmaster Nightfall, Healing Rift might be a better call. This bow does tons of damage, so you're gonna be killing most stuff fairly easily without much effort. We'll do this. Hellion does tons of damage, extra scorch stacks. Overall, such a good aspect. You can run a machine gun with incandescent if you want. Okay, this guy's gonna get crushed by the ball. Let's Song of Flame him, why not? Song of Flame works better when you're up close with Incinerator Snap. You can just shoot your weapons, it's gonna make enemies ignite when you're in Song of Flame. Okay, let's fall back a little bit. Get some healing off. Get an Empowering Rift down to get our Hellion. Our bow's ready to go. See, we got tons of, we'll do that just to get a fresh Rift. Let's put down to get a fresh Hellion. And we'll keep going here. This is also obviously empowering our bow's damage when we're in the Empowering Rift, which I guess is part of running Empowering Rift too. But we mostly want that ability regen when we're in the Rift is the main portion of it that we like. You could run Orb of Powers heal you with this setup too. But as you can see, you get tons of the fusion grenades. Hellion kind of covers the weakness of Hierarchy of Needs of up close. I haven't even really had to use my other weapons. This is just abilities and primary only damage. And you can do it from relative safety in the back of the map like this. This bow performs really well. This is a very different gameplay loop compared to some bracers. You can be a lot more aggressive. You can see why this performs better in harder content, because you're going to generally want to sit back and just slowly nuke down enemies in your relatively stationary. So in easy content where you're constantly running, it's not going to really perform well. But you kind of get the gist of the gameplay loop. It's a Hierarchy of Needs build at heart, but tons of Hellion, tons of grenade energy. Thanks for talking over my Kaido, but hope you enjoyed this build video, and I will catch you with the next build.